I watched the budget presentation by the South African Minister of Finance, Mr. Gigaba. The allocation of 351.1 billion rands to education was the highest to any sector of the economy. Over the next 3 years, the government expects to spend almost the same amount in subsidizing free education and providing critical infrastructure in support of education. Furthermore, spending on education is the fastest growing category, rising annually by 13.7%, and over 75% of students in tertiary institutions are expected to qualify for some form of free education. This means that compared to the rest of the world, South Africa spends more on education as a percentage of total government expenditure. Here are my thoughts on this. By definition, every expense is either an investment, charity, or misuse of funds. Since the government of South Africa is not in the business of charity or wasting money, this 351 billion rands is a strategic investment. The strategic value of education to the state is clear when this investment or when this funding is compared to other countries in the world. This amount is higher than what the United States and the United Kingdom allocate for education as a percentage of GDP, and it's just 6% shy of the UNESCO recommended standard. The essence of every investment is to generate returns. For the state, these returns are a well-educated population, vibrant, dynamic, productive, and competing with, very favorably with the rest of the world. How can we see the fruits of this investment? Consider this. In 2017, South Africa was ranked the 4th most economically miserable nation in the world based on Bloomberg Misery Index, which is based on 4 key points: unemployment levels, interest rates, consumer prices, and economic growth. This year, South Africa ranks 2nd, and it is the only sub-Saharan country on that list. Not even Zimbabwe, Nigeria, or Somalia appears in the top 10. Economic growth depends on the interaction between interest rates and employment levels. Unemployment can be reduced by more entrepreneurs getting into the system, opening new businesses, and creating jobs. In order to create new businesses, young people will need to access low-interest loans. But most importantly, they will need access to a pool of talent that is not just capable, but world-class and disciplined. Companies are built by people and not just cash. This is why the investment in education is very important, because it is an investment in people. However, through my 3 years of teaching at the University of the Western Cape, I am unfortunately worried that a large part of this investment will not meet its objectives. There is an unfortunate disconnect between the needs of the economy and the effort that most students put into their studies. Students think, or they tend to think, that their socioeconomic background entitles them to special considerations. And this prevalent thought pattern leads to students who are preparing for a job market that they are frankly unqualified for. A lot of young people lack the soft skills that are in need by employers. Skills such as ICT, emotional intelligence, the ability to learn, strategic thinking, and research. These are soft skills that create the most value in the global economy today. And that is what employers are looking for. But it is also what students lack the most. Now consider this. If you are a computer science student, some researchers somewhere in the United States, Republic of China, India, or even here in South Africa is probably rendering your education useless at the very minute you're learning it. The same for all other fields of study or discipline. Over $100 billion in research and development funding is invested every year to render all your learning obsolete. So, what exactly are you bringing out of the university? In my view, it is the ability to learn. It is the ability to think. Not just to think, it is the ability to work under pressure. It is the ability to unlock value from economic assets. And that is what the government of South Africa will invest $30 billion on this year. For more information on this and more, visit my website www.chimeresearch.com and also read my posts on the website of Sultan Machido Institute for Peace, Leadership and Development.